but I remember the more rag-like ball you are referring to. Unless there's a third type. It was squishier than the current T-ball standard and had a more linen-like covering. Today's T-ball balls do a better job of approximating the grip texture of a true baseball, though they still remain a bit slicker and wax-like. I was always being my favorite softball player calls me Dad American Flag Independence Day vintage shirt. I would try to keep it together, but then I would inevitably snap and try to start moving away from them and swatting at them. And, inevitably, that's when the ball would roll past me. As a Nats fan, I have mixed feelings. Last year, there was one kid, Alex, who would not stop touching me. If I was acting as a coach in the outfield, when he wasn't picking daisies, he was pawing at me. Then, one game, he hits a ball single and as soon as he gets to first, he is grabbing at me. The umpire warned me not to touch the kids, as if I'd grabbed Alex to keep him from advancing. The ump was right to give a notice, but how he thought it was me grabbing this kid that was seemingly climbing me like a monkey, I don't know. My favorite softball player calls me Dad American Flag Independence Day vintage shirt. Tank top, V-neck. Ladies tee for men and women. Tank top, V-neck. Have a friend whose ADHD literally saved his life. We were practicing for a softball game against another fraternity and he was hanging out by third base. He never played baseball and bent over to look at the slot the fix the bag to and a line drive went right where his head had been a second earlier. We obviously shouldn't have let him stand there while we did batting practice. But it wasn't as we could stop him. Dude was 6 feet 4 inches, 300 pounds, and had some major mental issues. He went that whole semester with a broken wrist and didn't even know. You can't control a dude whose pledge name was Mustard Tiger. My favorite softball player calls me Dad American Flag Independence Day vintage shirt. For some context, I played baseball in high school. I was playing shortstop. The batter hit a grounder up the middle that I didn't field cleanly. Once I picked it up, I knew the guy that was on second would be running home, so I just turned in. Looking. The girl that was playing catcher was staring off into the left field while the ball was heading directly for her face. She got a glove up at the last second and deflected it away. Official My favorite softball player calls me Dad American Flag Independence Day vintage sweatshirt. Hoodie. Sweatshirt. Hoodie. That's my story of how I almost killed a girl. Feels like it. Played beer league softball a while back. One of my friends played a ton of baseball growing up and could hit the shit out of a ball. My favorite softball player calls me Dad American Flag Independence Day vintage shirt. I tried to dodge, but it hit my elbow and went fair. The ump at first wasn't good, and the home plate ump looked away for some reason. It rocked my elbow, but I wasn't sure what the rule was in softball, so I just jogged home like nothing was wrong. My arm was shaking like a dog shitting razor blades for about 1/2 an hour and I had a bone bruise. They're hard, but the bats for softball are hotter than anything else by far. Hardball makes the bat wall flex and energy right back into the ball with real dangerous speed. Sometimes makes the bat's walls flex better. Softball bats are hotter than anything else and it's not even close. It's a fun combination, but the danger comes from fielders being so close to that ball-bat collision. Other products.